Welcome to another podcast presentation from the Zenith Corporation.
May I have your attention, please? Your podcast will begin in just a few moments. Please keep your hands inside the podcast at all times and enjoy your ride.
Hello everyone, welcome back to In Out the Lead, the show where we review both new and older movies. This is Gino.
This is Robert.
And Gio.
And we have two special guests. Ricardo and America couldn't be here today, so I have my close friends, Steve and Cynthia.
Hi.
And they're so crazy. I like that they're here. So, we are coming to you live from our editing bay. And sure enough, if you're new to the show, we have a rating system of In Out the Lead.
In, if you liked the movie, you loved it, you would ask the movie to marry you. Out if you did not like it, and you would still ask the movie to marry you, but with a prenup. And delete if it was the worst movie ever made, and you would ask the movie to jump off a cliff.
So this week we watched Ready or Not and Cynthia's pick, which is Paper Moon. Let's take a quick listen for Ready or Not.
I can't believe that in half an hour, I will be a part of the Ladomus Gaming Dynasty Empire.
Dominion. We prefer Dominion.
I honestly can't wait to be a part of your family.
There's just one more thing, and then you are officially part of the family.
Ready or Not, a bride's wedding night takes a sinister turn when her eccentric new in-laws force her to take part in a terrifying game. Since you started talking, Steve, I want you to go first on this.
I guess I'm out.
Oh, okay. Why?
I don't know. Like, it wasn't a bad movie. Like, I wouldn't, I guess, get rid of it because it was enjoyable at times. But it was bad.
Period.
Yeah. But, like, it doesn't deserve to not exist, I guess.
That's a delete.
Okay.
But, no,
He said
like,
it doesn't
that-
deserve
okay,
to not
sorry.
Like,
exist.
it's good, but not...
I'm looking
Sorry.
forward for the remake in like 10 or 15 years.
Okay.
yeah. And also because I enjoy Adam Brody. Like, I think they should remake or reboot the OC. and then recast Adam Brody as, like, the same character.
Oh my god, that's sort of like drunken and jaded, dead inside.
Yeah, I mean, there's, like, a bunch of stuff. Like, I
But
think-
details can go later.
Yeah, do they go later? Do details
Go later.
Yeah, they go later.
What about you, Cynthia?
Yeah, I'm also out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm also out. There was just so much that could have been restructured to make more sense. And the movie itself was what kept pulling me out of it.
Oh,
So I blame the movie for itself.
okay. Not bad. Robert.
I'm out as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really disappointing. As I predicted last week, I was super hyped for it. I was super ready to be in. And it's like you guys said, it's not a bad movie, but just it has such a clever premise, and the trailer was great. And so, you go in, you're ready. You suspend your disbelief, and the screenplay was just not. It's not as clever as its premise. It's not. The movie's not as funny as it thinks it is, and it was shot in a way that it looked. The lighting was great, but it was shot all in close up, and there was a lot of like actiony, cuts. In a horror movie, you need to see everything to be able to feel the fear and everything.
Or if you're not going to show everything, really make me want to see it and never show it to me.
Exactly, yeah.
And it was such an in-between.
So I think, in terms of screenplay, it was subpar, and directing was subpar. So I'm out. Not deleting because it's a clever and original idea, so I give it points for that. And it was enjoyable at times. It was suspenseful at times, but out.
Actually, I think I'm in on this one.
Oh.
Like, I found it enjoyable enough. Where to me it was enjoyable enough. I didn't really hate it enough that I bash it.
You didn't have expectations for it. So
Yeah,
you enjoyed it for what it was, yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the opposite of you last week. Because
Yeah.
you were very, you had anticipation for this.
Yeah.
You were, really waiting for this, super hyped about it. And I don't know if that's what probably, you built it up too high.
Yeah, I screwed myself, basically.
But you see,
Again.
I went into it zero knowledge either. I did my best to not even look it up on I didn't look at the marketing material. I didn't look at anything. So I went into it blind, actually with low expectations.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm in on it. It wasn't that bad of a movie. It's entertaining enough, or it's just
Okay.
good, just mindless kind of movie.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, mine is I'm an out as well.
Wow, man.
I wanted to say in, but then there's
You're
things.
the minority today.
Apparently.
There's things I was just like, nah, dog, I'm good. Even the cholos in the audience couldn't help me out on that. With their comeback, like, damn, dog, could have run, eh?
They usually make a
She
movie
tried.
better too.
She did, but well, continue on a bit. But yeah, I'm out. Some jokes were just not very funny, or they feel like they tried too hard to be funny. Like I just heard it, like a little like in the audience.
Yeah,
it wasn't like
A single chuckle.
Yeah, just
I disagree. There were some very funny moments.
really.
Yeah.
I didn't think so.
I think so. There were some funny moments that weren't on purpose. They were just like cringy,
Okay.
and you're like, oh god.
Okay, that I can agree with.
Warning, spoilers lie ahead.
Okay, so Gio, talk more about why you're in.
well, we all seem to have the same kind of opinion on it. It's just Gio was the
Yeah.
only one nice enough to give it an in.
That's why I'm asking. That's why I want.
No, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I was just
yeah.
entertained by it.
Yeah.
Like to me, it was a fairly decent balance between like kind of a, it wasn't like ha funny, but it was a good enough like kind of lighthearted, so it kind of helped break a little bit of that goriness and for
Except
certain
for,
times.
wait, are we in the spoiler-free zone already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, technically.
Yes.
It was lighthearted enough until you saw the dumb waiter
Well, yeah.
ripping a person apart, or some of the other very gratuitous.
Well, it helped break down of like, yeah. Well, I'm not gonna say like it was freaking like a Disney movie either, but like it had those moments where it kind of like you're like, yeah, you saw somebody get their brains blown off, and then you're like, okay, let's bring it down a
Give
little
her
bit.
sequence where she frees herself from the dress
Yeah,
and she
like,
turns it
let's-
short so she could run.
Let's just take a little break from this blood here. Blood,
I mean, it is a horror comedy, so
Yeah.
it's not like a straight up horror movie. So I wasn't expecting it to be like super
That's
scary,
fair.
but I was expecting to be entertaining. And I really, for a movie like this, I felt like the screenplay was going to be the most important thing, because you hooked me in, with a great premise. Now you got to deliver, because the hook is easy, and now you got to deliver. And everything was just, it never took off, you were just waiting for it. And at times it felt boring. And to be honest, it was predictable.
I
for me.
100% shut my brain when he was doing the pass the box around and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
giving the explanation about the
Yeah.
relative. I zoned out.
Yeah.
I came back in. I was like, I didn't miss anything.
Because you stop caring about, I think the cast wasn't very strong either. Besides,
Adam
I think Adam Brody, the main girl,
mom.
and Andy McDowell.
Yeah.
Those are the standouts, but they don't really get used to their
To
full
their
potential.
advantage, yeah.
Like some of them go over the top, but you don't really buy it
I love
in a
the Coke
campy
girl.
way. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
God.
like-
Coco was fun
Yeah.
for a little bit.
I think this
Small
movie,
doses.
yeah. Even though I don't like,
Pun intended.
Yeah.
even though I don't like it, this movie could use more campiness.
That's what I said.
It was a little too much on the serious side, and it took itself too seriously while trying to be funny, and you can't have both things, It takes a more skilled director, a more skilled screenplay to pull that off, and I think that's why it was just a little bit subpar for me.
Yeah, I thought it was like horribly written. Because it starts like I didn't know it was gonna be a horror comedy. I didn't know it was. I'm still like.
You
it's a
didn't
horror
know?
comedy? Yeah, I
No,
did.
you didn't
I
know?
didn't kind of either. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more darker or more scarier
Same.
than that, but I was like, all right, this is a little bit better.
Yeah, and I was like really confused and bored like the first 20 minutes. 'Cause it's taking itself like super seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I saw the poster. I'm like, I guess there's gonna be blood, and it's not gonna be a Lauryn Hill biopic. And then like it's like dumb and like why should I care that these two white people are getting married?
That's true, yeah.
And these two rich white people, and then they get married, and then it was like I don't know. I was bored. Like I'm like, when does this movie end?
But yeah, I think that's why the movie felt like it never got going, because it would go in the serious path
And then
for a
hard
while,
stop.
and then stop, go into the funny path for a while, and then stop.
It
And
didn't choose a lane.
And it was never, even if it didn't choose a lane, it was never really good at any of it.
Yeah.
And that's,
It was-
and I was so
It was the
disappointed.
LaCroix
Yeah.
of horror comedy.
It had
Yeah.
essences, but
Yeah.
never full flavor.
God, it's so, and you just throw it out, you just put it in the sink.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like, no.
Like I just want lemon.
But yeah, like I was so disappointed. I looked at the directors, and they made that VHS movie, which has like a cult following a little bit.
And you could tell it had elements. I bet this could easily have a cult following, but it wouldn't deserve it.
No, yeah,
it wouldn't
no.
deserve it.
But that's
because
what
it has elements
that's
that
what
are
I
good,
mean
but
is that
definitely not.
those movies have cult are in the underground for a reason because they're not that good, right?
God, The Room. Who's here seen The Room about 8 times? Yeah, at the theater. That shit's awful.
Yeah.
But you watch it because it's awful, and there's no out of that level. It just stays in that level. It's a comfortable level, and the movie we saw was not.
But this movie is not bad enough to be entertaining.
Totally.
And it's not good enough to be entertaining.
It's
just right down the middle.
Right.
I mean, but credit to it for being original. That's a great thing. And that's a great thing about horror right now is that I feel like horror more than any other genre is in a healthy place because they don't cost that much to make. And you have audiences who show up for it and they make money. And that's why you have good original stories being told. And bring them on, bring more of these. Even if they are bad.
And the movie had a lot of, despite the whole of it, it had moments that are definitely going to be memeable. I think we're going to see a lot of that in the internet from that movie.
Well, if a lot of people watch it. If
enough people watch it, and whatever amount of people watch it are going to make memes out of it. And honestly, the little Tia that comes out of nowhere and just like
that crazy
stands in she was amazing. And there was a row of probably 21-year-olds in the front who were just all about those little awkward things.
Yeah,
that I'm like, you're going to make a GIF out of this or GIF. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend.
Those are that was the one funny bit of the movie. The way they kept that ant kept popping up. Yeah. That's why I was like, oh, this movie's going to be really good. And it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that original, though. I felt like it was like a Walmart whitewashed Get Out.
Yeah, but it's still, in the sense that it's not a remake,
and
it's
no
not,
racism implied.
it's not based on anything.
There was no black people in this movie. There were brown people at all. It was just.
It's racist even by not having any other race.
That's true.
It's like the movie should be called White People Problems.
Yeah. I guess if you're rich enough, you're just gonna have these like weird rituals where you hail Satan.
Yeah.
White people problems,
All right, guys. Seems like we have 4 outs and 1 in.
Overall disappointing. Sorry.
Whatever. Well, we're going to take a small break. We'll come back in a bit.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Gentlemen, are you coming home feeling tired? Not enough energy late at night when the wife invites you to bed? Having trouble performing? Well, a solution has arrived, and no little blue pill is required. Simply call the law offices of Ricardo Sanchez and file for divorce. Yes, no more unsatisfying nights for the woman in your life, as she will finally be free to find herself a young stud like pool boy Bryce, who can physically keep up with her needs. No need to keep the pressure on yourself. Divorce now, and you will be free to live your midlife crisis in style. You will have no shame in chasing that 18-year-old secretary in your office who will be with you for your money. So why wait? Get off the couch and call now. The number is 828-8888. Operators standing by. Hablamos español.
Please stand by as your next film is being prepared. And remember, no flash photography is allowed during listening.
Keep your sunny side up, up, high.
Kansas, 1936. Out of the darkest days of the Depression comes the adventures of 2 unlikely con artists, Mose Prey and his companion, Addie Loggins.
Better go slow and hurry. Uh-oh.
My name is Prey, Kansas Bible Company. I'm just here to deliver this Bible that Mr. Bates ordered.
Bible?
Bible? What kind of Bible? What company you say you're from?
The next movie we review is Paper Moon from 1973. During the Great Depression, a con man finds himself saddled with a young girl who may or may not be his daughter, and the two forge an unlikely partnership.
Well, why'd you pick this movie?
So I grew up watching I don't know, can I say like channels and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I grew up watching Turner Classic Movies.
Okay.
And I think I was maybe like in middle school when I caught this. And that was before I had like any real like film knowledge at all. I was just watching whatever they put on. And the flow of this movie got 12-year-old me. And
okay.
it's been one of my like top 5 movies.
Wow.
This whole time.
Is it because you want to be a traviesa like the little girl?
I related to like her
sassiness,
her sass, her determination. I was like, I want to be that when I grow up, and she's 9.
Did someone owe you $200?
You don't know this about Cynthia, but she's a heavy smoker.
That's not true at all. So apparently the cigarettes they gave her were lettuce.
Yeah, I saw.
Oh yeah, I heard, and it made her sick.
Yeah, and they made her super sick.
Gio, what do you think about Paper Moon?
I'm sorry, but I think I'm gonna go without.
Wow.
You just like to be the contrarian, right?
No, I like at the beginning of the movie, I thought it was gonna be one thing. And it kind of went away from that, and then it kind of came back at the end. So
Okay.
that's why it kind of like I wish it was something else.
Meaning, like,
I wish it had stayed like the way it started off.
meaning the con, like
yeah,
con
the
artist
con
part
route.
of it? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
like I
see.
wish it would have kind of stayed a little bit with that. The whole middle part kind of seemed unnecessary. So like I wish it kind of would have been that and just seen the bond between them a little bit more than because I like that bond. I like the relationship with the guy and the girl.
The sass.
Yeah, just like the way they kept sassing at each other, just like responding back and forth and just bickering. Like I wanted to see a little bit more of that, but it kind of got lost towards the middle. So that and it was like, oh man, I wanted to see more of that. And I didn't get as much.
You're walking home, Gio.
I'll start walking now.
What about you, Robert?
Oh fuck. I mean, I enjoyed it. I like the. What's her name? What's the actor's name?
Tatum?
Yeah, Tatum. Yeah. She is the movie. It's
a
such a great
rocket.
performance, and she won an Oscar for it, obviously. So she carries the movie, and I do like the bond, but I kind of see what you're saying, Joe.
Yeah.
It did kind of slow down a little bit in the middle, because you go into it and you think it's gonna be like a quirky con movie, and in a way it's good that it's not. It's not too it's not like a regular Hollywood movie. It's more about the relationship and the bond rather than a con artist movie.
No, well, that's what
Yeah.
but I thought like that relationship, that bond could have gone on between
Yeah.
them trying to do this.
But honestly, at the end, I connected with it, and I thought their bond was so strong. I thought it was such a heartwarming ending. So, I'm in.
Right. What about you, Steve?
Pass.
You can't pass back to back.
I can. But yeah, I'm in.
And
Yeah, man, like I enjoyed it. I disagree with Gio, cause I think, well, like usually when you try and tell a story, there's like at least a 3-act structure. And but no, like I think without that second act, you don't get to understand the characters, and you definitely don't understand what Ryan O'Neal's character is about most without that, because that first act you're like, oh, they're con artists, like he's real sly, and Tatum O'Neal's character is like picking that up, and she's probably way better because her mom's a prostitute, so she had to like figure out how to like.
She's very streetwise.
Yeah, how to like get by on her own essentially. But in the second act, you really see Ryan O'Neal and how he's kind of like he's actually like a fuck up, and you need to see that because he's not a strong character. He's actually like really.
He gets
nimble.
sweet easily.
Yeah.
The right winds will pick him up.
Yeah, and he's just.
The right skirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's like being taken advantage of, and you see like Tatum O'Neal's character, like she sees that, and she's like this little girl, and she's like, man, like you're an idiot, like why are you letting this woman like take advantage of you? Like you owe me $200, I already got them. But like we're having fun, and like you're fucking it up because you only get your dick wet. You're not even getting your dick wet. Like what the fuck? Yeah, and then like she like does this whole ploy to like get him back, and.
That kind of shows you how strong she is.
Yeah, how
on her
strong,
own.
and that she learned to love him, even if he is or isn't her dad. So you won't see that. So if the whole movie was just a con game, it's like, well, why is this asshole like teaching this little girl to be a con artist? You don't get that ending without that, I think.
If I could jump in, I feel like compared to the Sting, another con movie set in like the 30s, Depression era, I think it makes you feel more for the humanity of the time, because you get a bunch of moments where you see the people
struggling, the people on the side of the
road,
road,
the Okies leaving and all that.
Well, I'm in. I really enjoyed this movie. I like the chemistry between Brian and Tatum O'Neal. They were both great, and it's crazy how I didn't know they were father and daughter. And it's funny, like Hollywood don't really do that. They don't really cast actors with their kids in a way.
Wait, they're really father and daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't
my
know.
God.
Now you know, yeah.
Oh, crazy.
It's the best story that they're father-daughter. When he was about to get cast,
he invited the director over for like lunch or something in their house in Malibu, and like just to chat, like he chatted with little Tatum O'Neal about something, and he was mentioning something about like, oh, I think I'm gonna go to the gym or something. She's like, you're not gonna do that. And he's like, why? And she's like, because you're not going to change your shirt or your shoes. And he's like, all right, you got the gig. You both got the gig. Because, like, she was sassy without being prompted.
And she wasn't an actor?
No.
Oh.
This was her first, and I think, like, her only big thing that she's ever really done. And, the director does note that, like, it took a lot to get that sort of spontaneity out of her.
Mm-hmm.
It took, like, something like 30 takes to do that one car scene where they're yelling at each other about running out of Bibles. Yeah, that took, like, 2 days, and... 30-something takes because it's not easy to work with kids.
Wow. Yeah.
But he got his money's worth out of that kid.
Yeah, because I think he also mentioned that, you know, it was that was the worst experience he ever worked with, like her. But I mean, like I said, I love the chemistry between them two. It's amazing. The sassiness, of course. Now when you brought up, it kind of reminds you, like, yeah, you do have your moments of sassiness, but también tú también, Steve. And so, like, but yeah. I thought the ending was gonna go out a different route, to my opinion.
What did you think?
I literally thought he was gonna die.
Oh.
And I was like, hoping.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was leading up to that
moment,
style of ending. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I was fearing for him because also mostly for the girl because I was like, what's she's gonna do? Like, it's gonna be like her walking back to her aunt's house. Even does she even know how to give to her aunt's house? If he does that, and then next year, like,
Hulk ending.
Yeah, you know, I was just like.
So walking side of the road.
Yeah.
No, but, you know, but you know, like it, and I didn't really think about it until you guys started talking about the whole like the chick was using him. I thought he was just
Miss Trixie Delight.
Mm-hmm. No big tits in the front
seat. The best name for like a working girl from the 30s.
She was a dancer.
I'm also super in because of like they had Orson Welles as like the consult.
Oh yeah.
To help him out because Peter Bogdanovich was like friends with him.
Yeah, that was his mentor, actually.
That was his mentor, and like he's the one who helped him figure out, oh, you should use like this filter for the black and white shit. And
you know what's funny? I knew nothing about this movie, and when I rented it and I hit play, I didn't see any of it.
Yeah.
And I actually thought it was an old movie.
Right, it
and
fools you. When
I was
little,
watching
I
it,
thought so too.
But the thing I was watching, I was like, "Wow, this movie's so modern."
Yeah.
I was like, "This is like a Citizen Kane," because like the way it looks so crazy. Yeah. And then I come to find out it was from 1973. I was like, "Oh, that's even more amazing." Right? Yeah, it's that old Great Depression style, but with a modern filmmaking to it. So I was blown away by it. The cinematography was probably the best thing, other than that acting.
Yeah, I was fooled for years when I saw that. I just used to equate black and white equals old. Who cares? Yeah, old, just old. But to know that was in the 70s, purposely done to look the way it did, it was bananas.
No, it was the same because like
when
you told us about the movie and like I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay, from 1973. I was like, all right, fine.
You were expecting some disco?
No, like it was just like, okay, it's from 1973. So like I hit like when I started watching it and it was in black and white with this old kind of music and everything. I was just like, did I hit the right one?
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, is there another one that has
yeah.
the same name?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it got me too. I was just like, what the hell?
And it came out the same year as The Exorcist. And she beat out Linda Blair in the bed. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You had two great child performances in the same year. And either one could have won, I think.
And that supporting actress, the other supporting actress in this movie, the Trixie, she was actually super pissed that Tatum won the best supporting actress because she's like, that kid carries the movie. She should have been nominated for best actress. Like, she should have won actress.
Yeah,
I should have won supporting actress.
That's the short end of the stick, yeah. I mean, she is the protagonist of the movie.
I mean, the book's named after her character.
Yeah, the book is named of her, and in the book they're a little bit more obscure, whether like isn't he her dad, and the movie kind of like nudges you to feel maybe
they have the same jaw,
right?
They did have the same jaw.
What can that mean?
I thought it was funny in the beginning. He just shows up to the funeral, to try to con them. And then they just like, hey, take her. Like, who in their right mind would? I know it's a depression, but it's like, fuck, like you're giving this child to some random dude who just showed up.
The 30s were a wild time.
Yeah, they were wild. Yeah.
No Amber Alerts. There's no Amber Alerts. They're like, I trust you. You look. I just met you 2 minutes ago. I trust you.
Oh, you're showing Bibles? Okay, here you go. You might be a church man.
Yeah.
Pray, you said, is your last name. Well, that sounds wholesome enough.
But I did really feel the bond because the end, I was almost almost in tears when he drops her off.
Right?
And I was like, oh, this is really the end. And, you could tell that she really wants to be, even if he's not her father, he is now, basically.
And
you
it's
know?
such a tough decision
Yeah.
for her because she's in this house where she's going to get lemonade.
Yeah.
And
the
she's
comfort,
in the piano, like, which is what she had been asking for. She wanted a piano. He's like, we're going to have a factory of pianos.
And that shot of her running in the distance, I was almost brought to tears by that shot.
And the fucking jalopy.
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was the best truck.
You should join cross country.
So from the looks of it, looks like it's 4 ins and 1 out. And damn it, Gio, you're the one that's out.
The direct opposite of the last movie.
You could always change your mind. You could always come back.
You always get one.
Always get one.
You could always get one.
Come to the inside.
We'll hold on to it.
We have cookies in the inside. Make sure you tune in next week to see what new movie we'll review and Robert's pick.
The horror movie Frailty. So if you want to watch it, play along.
All right, cool. Well, that's the end of the show. See you next time.
Thank you for listening. Please exit the podcast and don't forget to collect all your belongings and young children. We hope you enjoy listening and have a great rest of your day here at In Out Delete.
This has been a podcast presentation from the Zenith Corporation, working for a better tomorrow for all of mankind.